Welcome. All right, so today's session, we're gonna focus in on that mirrored grasping the bird's tail, meaning that I'm gonna face the camera and mirror you. We're gonna do a lot of practice because I want you to really start feeling comfortable. The other thing we really need to focus on throughout our practice is that proper alignment in our footwork, our lower back, and our waist turning. So we're going to include all of those things into our practice, starting with those few minutes of warm-up, feet, shoulders width apart, and perfectly straight. Remember, the knees are always nice and soft, allowing us to engage the abs slightly and release that lower back area. We'll start with that turning from side to side. Let the arms swing and just tap or land wherever that might be, lower back, belly, and let your head follow the looking direction. So the torso turns and the head follows. Just getting a little bit of spine movement in. Remember, nice, smooth, even, and continuous breath. Couple more rounds, both sides, gentle taps. Bringing that energy through the whole body. And then we slowly ease off. So we ease through the middle body. And that lets the arms slow down. And then we come back to center. Okay, shoulders are next. Big thing in our practice. Squeeze them together, lift up, and then go down. So find the movement. Now again, you could do this alternating, one and then the other. You could do larger arm circles, but the goal is to find movement in the joints. So play around with which direction that you go. As we go back, we squeeze together, and as we go forward, we pull apart. So we really want to find the movement within this joint. So can you bring the movement in? So if I turn to the side, can you find a lot of movement through this entire area? Same thing on the other side. Bringing that health back through to our joints. Let's do a couple of rolls back and then shake them out. Let them find that neutral position. We'll move into the hips, big circle and around. Moving nice and slow. Let your lower back release. Let the hips open a little bit. Let's go the other direction. One more big circle. And then we'll bring those knees and ankles together. Little tiny circles here. Small movements give us a lot. And we'll go the other direction. Try to feel the weight in your footwork already. Bringing our attention down to the foot. All right, let's stand up, come back, shake it out. And we're really going to take a moment before we get started. Feet, shoulders width apart, look down at them. We always start with those Qigong exercises or wellness exercises created by Master Yang. Feet are in line. Where are your knees? Where's the weight in your footwork? Feel it forward and back, side to side, and find your whole foot centered. Even, weight 50-50 from side to side, and then run through your checklist. Head lifting up, and your shoulders will hang down, creating space in the neck. Drop your tailbone just a little bit, not too much. And nice soft knees. Fingertips will brush the sides of your thighs. We have that little piece of fruit under the arm. And we'll start by just letting the arms raise up. And then upper arms, forearms, and palms sink back down. So inhale, gently let them float up. Exhale, we press down. Now if we include the legs, we let the arms float up and we're standing. And as you float back down, sink into the legs. Feel the weight centered in your foot. Push up, stand up nice and tall, and then relax down. So I'll turn, stay where you are, and just follow, looking dead ahead, lift, and then lower down. Keep that weight centered in your foot the whole time. So not leaning back or too far forward. And we don't have to sink down very far. A little bit goes a long way. And we push and we stand up. And then we relax and sink down. Let's do a few more rounds. Finding that movement thing, floating and relax. It's a wave of energy moving through the body. Always starting in the footwork, moving through the legs, the spine, and then out through the arms, hands, and fingers. So can you find the flow? Can you feel relaxed? Our goal is to feel light and airy through the upper body and then strong and stable through the legs. So every time we sink down, knees in line with the toe direction, we're building strength. We're building that strength as we stand up nice and tall. Let's do 2 more. The last one, we sink down just like normal. And then we bring our hands to the side and we stand up, returning to that original position. Take a moment, take a deep breath, and then we'll move into the next one, looking up at the moon. So this one's about rotating our whole arm. So can you rotate that whole arm together? From here, rotate so that the palms face the sky, and then bring the arms overhead. Remember, shoulders down no matter the distance. And then bend at the elbows, fingertips point together, and then we press down to the hips. Relax the arms, fingers point down, rotate whole arm, palms come up. Again, shoulders down, palms press down, all the way to the hips. So we inhale and we go up, you can look up. Exhale. And press down. Inhale, we're standing. Exhale, sink into your legs. Knees in line, weight centered. Push up. And then sink down. Few more. Finding your own flow. The goal is always to follow your own breath. Feel relaxed through the spine. Light and airy through those arms. And remember, all that weight is in the legs, sinking down, strong and stable. Okay, the last one, we do a half circle, but we keep our palms facing down. And then we bring the arms to the front, shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Then we do the first one, upper arms, forearms, and palms sink down. And then we return to the original position. Okay, now I know for some of you, we've been working on those for a long time now, right? But the goal is to find something different every time you practice. It's like doing a form. We can think, is our head lifting up the whole time? Are we relaxing our waist? There's always something to work on. So let's grab our chairs and let's get into the next section. Now, I'm going to demo in the chair again. And we're going to do more waist turning than anything else because I want you to find this within your bow stance. So remember, we have the knee alignment with the weight in the center of our foot, and then we have waist turning that coordinates with our body movement, and then we have the arm circles. So we're kind of piecing it out to then put it all together. Our upper body shape, hug a tree position or a hugging shape, big arms reaching around the biggest tree that you can't even touch your fingers. Elbows and shoulders relax down. Sit on the edge of your chair. Find your sit bones. Maybe you even move the thighs. You find the bones so you can feel even from side to side to then bring this to your standing practice. Between sets, throw them out. Release that energy, relax them down, and we're going to imagine we're in our own little box. Arms up. Okay, turning side to side, about 45 degrees, but not pushing into pain. So maybe it's less. The goal is to turn from your middle body, keeping the sit bones connected. All right, turning, head follows. Are the shoulders relaxed? Are you turning just to the point of comfort, not past? Couple more rounds, both sides, because we're going to do this standing. So I want to touch on that quite a bit today because I want you to feel how we connect turning with our hips. And the goal right now is to feel that. So our hips are connected, our sit bones are connected to the chair. And we're turning from that middle body. We have that length through the crown of the head. We're letting the shoulders hang down. And we're just finding that movement from side to side. This is the goal. Okay, let's come back. And then we'll come center and then throw them out. Okay, today our goal is all turning. So we're going to get out of our chairs. We're going to work on our bow stance for a moment, and then we're going to bring in that waist turning that we felt connected to our chairs in our footwork. So the requirement of our bow stance, there's a few requirements that are the same for everyone, and there's one that will be different. We have 2 lines between our feet, so we'll mirror each other. Feet are shoulders width apart. Look at the lines if you have them on your floor. We want to make sure we keep this width. With our bow stance, we'll shift to the right, and then we'll turn and open the left foot 45 degrees. You sink into that leg. Now, as you sink down, be very aware of where the weight is. If you're sinking and that knee is turning in, no good. Back up and sink less. Shift the weight over, picking up that right foot. Step out. Heel, ball of foot, toes. Then we move forward. Your goal right now is both knees are in line. So if we had turned our hips to the front, our knee's going to twist in. We want to have our hips open. We can even have our torso open right now. So the requirements that are the same for everyone. Hips are open. Back foot is 45 degrees and the front foot is straight. Knee over the ankle. How do you know? If you're too far, you can lift the heel. Not enough, and you can lift the toes. You should feel like you're centered. It's about 60% in the front and 40% in the back. The requirement that changes for everyone is the length of the stance this way. So I want you to play around with this. If you shift back, can you pick up? Now, if you step too far, you're stuck. We want to make it natural. This right here, with this small footwork, okay, One step, essentially as if I was walking, is great. Why? Front foot is 45, front foot is straight, back foot is 45. Both knees are in line, hips are open. Okay? And look, easily pick up. Now the slower you move to go forward and back, the slower you shift back and you feel that weight shift over centered in your foot and you pick up, the more balance and stability you will get while building muscle. Okay? So from here, we're going to do our waist turning. So that means that we bring our arms up. Now we'll start at the corner so that everything is open and easily accessible. Now we can do this in a chair still if you'd like, but I want you to challenge you and I want to think about turning to straight and then turning back to the corner. Let your head follow. Turn to straight and then back to the corner. When you turn to straight, did your hips follow? Or were you able to bring that turning from the chair and keeping your hips stable into this practice? Staying where you are. I'm going to turn so you can see. The other thing is we're not going to be vertical. Traditional yang style, depending on the length of your stance, we're going to have a little bit of lean and we're going to turn. Allowing that lower back to open and soften, let energy flow. And depending on the length of your stance, you'll have more lean if you have a longer stance. Okay? So let's do a couple more rounds. Turning, feel. Hips are open. Where's the movement coming from? The middle body, from your spine, from what we call the waist. And it's not that front area. It's the whole thing all the way around that middle back and spine. Okay. Come back, release. I want you to check in on your hips. The other thing that I'll see sometimes is this. When we're here, we might be open, but notice how the hips are tilted. We want to make sure we're still nice and level. This is a big thing. So we're still level instead of being like this and causing the whole spine to be out of alignment. We're level from side to side. Okay? Let's do it on the other side, so keeping our legs even. Setting up, parallel stance is what we call this, or neutral. Feet shoulders width apart. This time we shift the weight to the left. This allows us to rotate on the right heel. We sink, again checking in. How's that knee? Is it in line or did it tweak in? Where's the weight on your footwork? That's going to tell you a lot. If the weight's centered in your foot, your heel's up on that left foot, so the weight is in this leg, then step out. Heel touches, ball of foot, toes, and we bend the knee. So now both feet are connected and we move forward. Nice. Okay, so check in. Knees in line, hips open. Are we level? Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. So check, shift back. Can you pick up? If it was difficult, step a lot smaller. Remember, the only requirements that are the same is this width. Keeping what we call crotch rounded enough. So the knees stay in line and we can move forward and back. We're just going to stay forward right now. Find that alignment, knee over ankle. Can you lift your front toes or your heel? It should feel like your suction cupped whole foot is unable to move. Same thing with the back foot. If your knee's turned in, where's the weight? On the arch. We want that whole foot to be Velcroed to the ground. Arms come up into that hugging position. Feel that footwork, that connection forward and back. And we're going to turn. Now as you turn, keep the hips open. So don't close them. Think about what it felt like in the chair when the hips remain stable and we can move from the upper body. So we can bring in this waist turning with the proper alignment. This is what we're doing in grasping the bird's tail. We're moving from side to side a lot of turning, especially ward off to roll back to press. We have forward and back, and we have turning. There's a little bit of everything. But right now, I really want you to feel this difference of how we can be in a stance and we can turn. Okay, so now relax, check in, maybe throw the arms. How are the hips? Are we still level? Do we still have a little bit of a lean? Okay, great. All right, now we're going to do the other side again. We're going to go back and forth, and we're going to do forward and back with our turn. So getting it all together. Why? Because this is an integral part of grasp the bird's tail. Feet shoulders width apart, shifting to the right, turn 45 degrees. Look down. Sink to natural position, knee in line, and then step out. Okay, we're going to do the same exact thing, except this time we're going to add in shifting back and shifting forward. Now stay where you are. I'm going to turn off angle so you can see. What's the goal? When you shift back, is your knee in line? Is your front knee still in line? Not turned in like this, still open. We have to be very aware at any length of this crotch rounded enough, keeping the knees in line. So as you move forward and back, is your knee in line? Is it in line still as you move forward? This is what we're working on. So we're getting this proper alignment so that as we learn more movements, when we learn to move within our forms and our stance, then we have this great alignment healing our body the whole time. Okay, now we're going to start in the back position. Our torso is going to be open. Now as you move forward, can you turn your torso to straight? Check. Hips are still open. We didn't do the hips too. Okay, now move back and turn to the corner. And your head can follow, so you can look straight and then you can look to the corner. Or you can look straight the whole time. Completely up to you, but I want your focus to be on the legs, remaining in alignment even as we turn the arms. So getting all of our body to work together so that in a moment when we get to grasping the bird's tail, even though we're doing complicated arm movements, we're still able to keep this wonderful alignment, healing our bodies, building strength, stability, balance, and most of all, a feeling of relaxation through that upper body. Okay, release, throw them down. Okay, shake out the legs. We're going to do the other side. Okay, last side with our bow stance practice. Then we'll do some arm reviews, giving ourselves a little bit of a leg break, and then we'll get into combining it together. So footwork, shift to the left, open the right toes. Sink down naturally. Notice how the body and everything turns. Check in right now. Knees should still be in alignment, even here as we get started. Then we step out. Then we move forward. And it's going to be this forward and back. So right now, just leave the torso open. Check, knees in line, front knees in line. Okay, so everything's building this strength. We're feeling more stable because we're feeling a connection to the ground, so we feel our footwork. We're really relaxing the upper body because we don't have any shape going on. We're not turning, we're just feeling the footwork. Okay, let's move back. Bring our arms up into that hugging shape, and we'll turn. Turn and move forward. Now check. How are your hips? Did you turn or are they still open? Okay, shift back and then turn to the corner and then shift forward. And we're just moving forward and back. But we're playing around with all the elements of our Tai Chi practice. Relaxing the arms even though we're holding them up. turning from the waist while keeping the knees in line, and finding that push and support in the legs. So pushing back each direction. Do a couple more. All right. Let's do one more forward. And then we'll come back. Okay, shake them out. Should be feeling pretty good about that now, right? Like it's like we're linking it all together. We've done so much chair practice that I really want to show you where we're going. Okay, now for the fun part. We're dropping the legs for a moment. So find a comfortable position, feet shoulders width apart. We're going to work on grasping the bird's tail. I'm going to mirror you, okay? So right arm comes underneath. Left palm is reaching out. The first movement is simply up and down. So we go up and down. Now check. Elbow relax, let that arm relax down, and make sure that your hand is relatively close. It should be 1 fist distance. Okay, turning, rotate both arms together. Left palm to the sky, right hand is seated. And then turn back. Arms don't change very much. Okay. Left palm to right forearm, expand out. Excuse me, flatten, come back over the ball, sit up your palms, not too low, and then we push. Okay, I'm going to grab a drink of water if you would like to do the same. Very important in our practice. So cheers. Okay, that's much better. Still just getting over that bit of sickness, but Tai Chi always helps. So let's do it a bunch of times, okay? Right arm, hinge up and down. Big things. Wrist in line, okay? Always make sure, just like our knees in line, always having our wrists in line. That's one of the biggest things. All right, left arm, left palm reaches out. Now remember, grasping the bird's tail has martial arts meaning. We're grabbing someone's wrist and we're controlling their elbow over the forearm. This is why we have a little bit of distance and not this, okay? Notice how my torso is turned. Now we go to straight with the torso and the arms go to the corner. Then everything's going to shift back to the corner. Now, palm to forearm, expand out for press. Then square up, come back, and then push. Okay, now I want to show you something. Grab your chairs. Telling you, we are linking it all together. So, all of that chair practice we have done. Sitting on the edge of your chair. Make sure, sit bones, right? Okay. Right arm underneath. Left arm overhead. Notice how the torso's turned. I'm not square. Turned a little bit. Up and down. Now watch. Turn. Turn for roll back to the corner. Left palm to right forearm. And then expand out. Now, square everything up. Come back. And then push. Pretty cool, right? Let's do it again. Okay, so find that turning just like we have in our bow stance, just like we have with our arms up. Okay, how can you bring it all together? And then we're going to do it in our bow stance. So right arm underneath, Left palm reaching out. Okay, again, turned a little bit, not totally square. A little turn. Okay, up and down. Go together. Then we turn. So when we end up in roll back, our torso is square or straight and our arms are to the corner. Remember, we're in our own little square box. Then when we turn back, everything goes to the corner. So the palm is pointing to the corner, the torso. Then we close just a little bit. We're not going to be square, just a little bit. And then we expand out for press. Because now with push, we're going to square. Then come back. And then we push. Okay, one more time. Right arm underneath, left palm reaching out. Up and down. Turn for roll back. So let's ward off right, roll back, and we shift. And then we press, palm to the center of the forearm, and then we push. Feels a little bit different, right? Okay, so now, get those chairs out of the way. We're going to stand in our parallel stance. Okay, so I'm going to come close to the camera, but what is our parallel stance? Feet, shoulders width apart. Okay, check. Where's the weight centered? Both feet, right? Side to side, front to back. All four corners of the feet are on the ground. Okay, right arm's underneath. Let's do it. Grasping the bird's tail. Feel just like you were in the chair. Turned a little bit. Up and down. Go together for ward off right. Then we turn. Roll back. Press. Expand out. And then push. Okay, one more time. Again, in coordinating that turning, and then we're going to bring in that bow stance. So, right arm, left palm. Okay, up and down. Turn for roll back. Ready? Turn to the corner. Press. Expand out. And push. Flatten, relax, check. Armpits open, nice. Push. Okay, now are you ready? We're going to do our bow stance. So, same exact thing. Make sure knees in line. Why are we taking all the time? Because I want to set you up for success. Long-term health, long-term longevity of our joints. Feet, shoulders width apart. Shifting to the right. Open up the left toes. Step out. Move forward. Okay, first things first. Can you pick up? And then step back out. Always checking that we have a natural stance and we didn't reach. Okay, so again, what are we doing? Turning and shifting back and forth. We're going to combine all of these elements together. Okay, we start in the back position. Check in on your footwork. Right arms underneath, left arms overhead, reaching out. Okay, as we move forward, the arms go up and down. How do we know we're in the right position? Elbow and knee are in line. If you're squared up, typically everything's off angle. The action is happening here. This is what we want front and center. Now we're going to turn. Turning from where? Your spine and waist. Okay, now shift your weight back as you turn your waist and your arms. Okay, staying in the back position. Close a little bit and touch the forearm. Now expand out. Okay, square up the torso. not the hips, right? Hips are still open. Then come back and push. Check. Not too high. Shoulder height. Relax those shoulders down. Okay, let's do it again. Come back. Check. Knees open. Right arm, palm facing the sky. Left palm is reaching out. Where's your torso? Already turned open a little bit. Where's your weight? Do you feel it centered in both feet? Nice and stable. Now up and down go together. Elbow and knee in line. Keep the space. Rotate whole arms. Turn. Everything together. Touch. Palm to forearm. Expand out. Open. Come back. And then if I said stop, where are you? So are you halfway with the arms, halfway with the legs? Not all the way, not all the way, halfway, and then finish. Okay, that's the next step. We could say coordinating upper and lower halves so that when something starts, everything starts. When everything gets to the final posture, it's all arriving together. So we're going to do it a few more times. I want you to pick something to work on. So take a moment, just kind of be in a neutral stance here. As we do this, pick something, a principle of practice. Do you want to focus on lifting up your head the whole time? So that where eyes are level on the horizon, a soft gaze. Would you like to focus on relaxing your shoulders down? So even though we have the arms up, can you release a little bit of tension? Or would you like to focus on relaxing that lower back? Okay, those are the body principles. The final one you could choose right now is coordinating upper and lower halves. So does everything arrive together? So let's do it. Okay, ready? Right arm up, palm facing the sky. Left arm's reaching out. Okay, up and down. Ward off, right. Roll back. Head lifting up, shoulders down. Shift and turn. Okay, press, touching, and then expanding out. And then push. Come back, and then push forward. Okay, let's do one more time before we close this session. Right arm up, left palm reaching out. Okay, find your flow. Let your body do what it's going to do. Up and down go together. Rotate and turn. Roll back. Press. Touching. Expanding. And then we push. Nice job. All right, it's all coming together. So I hope you're feeling better and better about your practice. I hope you're feeling like you're diving deeper into the details and you're just going to get stronger. It's just going to flow more and we're just going to keep practicing. Thank you so much for joining me. Great work today.